Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. We're so glad you're here.
Welcome to CK and GK. Today we are going to talk about NASA's moon program called Artemis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are kind of a space nerd. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Guys, we're talking about this is how big of a nerd Jenny is. Ready? She threw a moon landing anniversary
True
party.
story. True story.
And when I showed up at her house, she was dressed
like it was 1969.
Like it was 1969. Right. It was amazing.
I even made a Jell-O
and
mold.
so was everyone else. Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, the whole concept of the party was reenacting the moon landing on the 50th anniversary. So we all sat around the TV and watched the Walter Cronkite broadcast as if it was the first time we all watched it.
It was pretty cool.
All right. Yeah. So speaking of space, with me today is Caitlin. We could call her the Andromeda Galaxy because she's out of this world.
Hey, that like the TV show. Remember?
Yes. And I did research on it after you brought it up because I was like, wait, I don't know what this is. And then I found out what it was.
Yeah. Wasn't it Tom Selleck as a dad?
I don't know if I did. I didn't do that much research.
Oh, I think he was the voice of the dad. I think it was Tom Selleck. Anyway, you are my opalescent tree shark, my dear sweet friend, Jenny.
I don't even know. Is that like a compliment? Tree shark?
Leslie Knope only means things to be compliments.
Right. Yes.
So yes, it's a compliment. Yes. Okay. So I want to really quick give a shout out to a couple of indie shows that are showing us some pretty hardcore love, and I'm really here for it. So there's a show called 30 Dirty and Dying, and I love their Instagram account. They're really funny, and they show us a whole lot of love. So check out it's the number 30 Dirty and Dying, all written out in one word. On Instagram. Yeah, they're really fun. And then the other one is Twisted and Uncorked. They featured our promo in their episode 106, Woo! The Children of Florida Lee.
So
it's
fancy.
a cult. I know, right? And I love how our show gets interjected into a cult episode.
I mean, I have been in a cult. You've heard me talk about it on the show before.
Oh, the cult of?
Natural Path Meditation Cult.
Yeah, it was. They tried to recruit.
Yeah, like I did stop when I realized it was a cult and I was able to get out. But it did involve me sitting in the dark across from the person that they called, quote unquote, the master for about an hour while he sent me messages with his brain. The whole time I'm wondering, am I going to get out of here alive?
Right. Oh, he's sending me a message. The message is, get out right now.
Yeah.
I gotta go. So that's going to be a great episode that we're featured in. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just started it. So I'm excited to get through the rest of it. And we're going to have a Twisted and Uncorked promo in this episode as well. So stay tuned for that.
Right. So it's been a while since we sat down and talked. So let's catch up. It's time for circle time. Everyone sit on the rug, crisscross applesauce, and we'll share some stories. The first one I'm going to tell you is kind of gross, but also amazing. So at my school, we really pride ourselves on intellectual curiosity. This idea that it's okay to just ask questions and learn about something just for the sake of learning. Sure. And every morning we start the day with a 25-minute conversation that we call Campfire. And sometimes it's a formal presentation. Sometimes it's a question that we just all want to talk about together. But this week, we had a visit from Dr. Jenna Moore, who is the curator of annelids at the Leibniz Institute for the Analysis of Biodiversity and Change in Hamburg. Yes, I did just read her title off a piece of paper because there's no way I would remember it.
Also, I don't think I understand half the words that you just said. Say that one more time.
No, what I'm going to tell you instead is she is a worm scientist.
Okay, that's better because the ADHD in me was like, I'm listening, but also not processing and help. Okay, so she's a worm scientist.
She's a worm scientist, and she travels all over the world scuba diving and turning over rocks and digging in sand to find worms. I would never choose to learn about worms, but now I'm so intrigued and I'm so interested. You know, there's like 14,000 species of named worms, but there's so many more that we don't even know what we don't know. They feed themselves in such interesting ways. One we learned about makes a mucus net and like catches, and then it swallows the net. There's one that's called spaghetti worm that has these little tentacles that come off. It was a fabulous presentation. And I will leave you with this. She showed us a worm that was 9 feet long.
Sick. No. That's so gross. I'm going back to my like middle school worm dissection right, and how like smelly that was and all of the and now I'm just I have like a giant 9-foot earthworm in my head right now, and I know that's not what it is, but oh my gross. Ugh, sick.
So my current obsession right now is worms.
Not even the worm scientists, but the worms themselves.
That's your soundbite for the episode.
Gross. Obsession right now is worms. Nailed it. Okay. Well, mine's not gross.
So I already win because mine's not gross.
Because mine's not gross. Look at our new stickers. Aren't they so cute?
Yay! We have new stickers.
Oh my gosh. They're new and they're so precious. They have our updated logo on them. They're circles. They're just super precious. And they're not like really big. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm obsessed. I love them. And I sent some to your house. So they should be arriving there today.
I'm so excited. Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next is my favorite part of the show.
Yep.
It's the gem of the week. And this is your chance to either laugh alongside me or laugh at me. Today, I think that this is humorous to everyone, but particularly those like our family that have multicultural families.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Abby, my 11-year-old, was telling me that during her sewing class one day, they were debating the best tacos.
Okay.
And I naturally thought that they were talking about like where the best tacos are from.
Yeah.
But they were actually talking about like what is the best filling for a taco.
Yeah, that's where my mind went. What's the best filling? Okay.
And I asked her and I was like, well, what is your favorite taco? What is the best taco? And she says, Yom Kippur. What? Okay. Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement, and it's a fasting day in the Jewish faith. And I just looked at her and I was like, what? She goes, well, it sounds like that. I said, oh, Al Pastor?
Can you even imagine? Her teacher was probably like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, what? This conversation
What
they're having in
taco
class.
do you
Right.
like?
Oh my gosh. Yom Kippur tacos. Stop it right now. Miss Abigail.
Yeah. So Al Pastor is what she meant, which is like a roast pork.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I don't know how else to launch into this story because it's so random. I work with a small marketing firm, and there's not a ton of employees, but many of the employees, the majority of us, are former educators. And all of us, with the exception of my managing partner, are women. Or people who identify as women.
You told us about this when you were talking about your manicure one time.
Yes. Now, I have to say this man is a gem of a human. Right. Like, I work for a gem of a human. I work with gems of humans. Like, they're just amazing people. And I'm very lucky that I landed in this spot. And my boss has daughters and is married to a woman who works with other women, helping them in times of crisis. Sometimes on our Slack channel, the conversation, or just when we're having meetings, the conversation turns towards inevitably women things like, like fingernails and hair and things that, stereotypical women conversations might be about.
Being members of the Senate and sitting on the Supreme Court, the typical female things.
Right. Being on the Artemis crew, all of those things.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. So at one point, something happened and the conversation turned towards menstruation, which is a word that I really hate. But at some point it turned towards that, and it was like this, it was like somebody's not feeling good or whatever. And my boss chimes in with, "I'm good to talk periods, guys. Like, don't worry about me." Like, but like not sarcastically. Like, he's like, "No, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, it's fine." And I was just like, I need more humans like this. Like,
right.
more men like this in the world.
It's a fourth of my life, so let's just go ahead and get it out there.
Right. Like, this is why women would make better serial killers, because we know how to get blood out of clothing, right? So like, let's be clear, right? This is a real thing. So, but it was just really, really, like, it was hysterical. I laughed about it for a solid 5 minutes. Like, I'm good to talk period, guys. But it was also just like so refreshing. It just made me happy. He's a gem of a human, so that's my gem of the week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, like Caitlin said, we've got a promo coming up for our friends at Twisted and Uncorked, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, y'all know CK and GK love to support fellow indie podcasts. So here's another show you might really love.
Hello, Twisted Humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting? Then this is the podcast for you. In 1952, there was a record high of UFOs reported. 1,500 sightings. There has been evidence of human sacrifice, devil worship, and it is haunted by more spirits than can be counted. A family of 2 adults and 2 kids reportedly saw a giant flying thing with glowing red eyes. And meanwhile, the family's nanny that helped Veronica to care for her and Lucian's children was found bludgeoned to death in the basement of their family home. I'm Alicia. And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Thanks for listening to our friends. Back to the show.
Hey,
Okay.
We're back.
Okay, so like you said, I love space, but particularly I like space history, and I really like the Apollo program.
Yes. How many times
Okay.
have you watched Apollo 13?
Oh my gosh, I actually just watched it last weekend.
I think Sam was little, so I think we left before your space party really, like, moon landing party, not space party, moon landing party, really got, like, later into the evening. But did you put it on at the end of that?
No, we had the documentary running on the upstairs TV.
That's right.
So if people like needed a quiet space, there was a spot up there.
That's right.
But,
I remember that.
By the end of the evening, adults were in the moon bounce. That's where that went.
Yes. Amazing.
And my friend's sweet at that point, I think she was a 3rd grader, was like, "Can we cut into the Jell-O mold?" I was like, "Yeah, you want to eat this?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't even need to slice it. Just get a spoon.
Did it
You are
have
the
marshmallow?
only
Right,
person who wants to
exactly.
eat this." I am not an expert. Okay. I am not a NASA scientist. I am not a historian. I am just someone who thinks that space travel is really interesting. So this is like baseline knowledge here.
Yeah.
Okay. And it might be wrong. I mean, how many times have I been wrong on this show?
Fact Jason.
Yes,
Fact
yes, yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Fact Jason.
Okay, so I said that this was 5 things that you need to know about Artemis.
Yes.
So the first one is that the name has a special meaning.
Okay.
Okay, so Artemis was the Greek goddess of the moon.
Yes, she was.
Okay, she's also the twin sister of Apollo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the Apollo program sent a bunch of guys to the moon. Now in Artemis, we're going to see also men, okay, but women on the moon.
Yay! Also,
Okay.
I'm thinking of Roman history or Roman mythology where her name is Diana. That's what.
Yes.
That's where my mind. But they kept Apollo's name the same, right? Because like apparently he gets to keep his name, right?
Hey, it's totally fine. Why do you think I picked Diana for Abigail?
Hey.
I mean, obviously, I wanted to name her after Princess Di.
Right, I was going to say.
But when I found out that she was also the goddess of the moon, I was done. I was like, check.
Right.
This is a perfect name.
Right.
Okay, so during the Apollo program, NASA sent 12 men to walk on the moon. 24 actually entered its orbit.
Okay.
Now, in the Artemis program, another name that's special is the spacecraft is called Orion.
Ooh, like the constellation?
Like the constellation.
Okay.
It's one of the most recognizable constellations in the sky. If you've seen Men in Black, you know that the galaxy is on Orion's belt.
If you've seen Men in Black. Stop. Oh, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones told me about space, guys. I know all that there is to know. Okay, we're good. Thanks.
Okay. Spoiler alert, it was actually the cat, not the
Spoiler.
constellation.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, but I feel like I could spoil a movie that came out in the year starting with a 1.
Here come the Men in Black.
Yeah. Okay, so. But Orion was the hunting partner of Artemis.
Nice.
Right?
Is it also
isn't
a
this
cat?
cool? I mean, meow.
Galaxy Defenders.
Yeah. Oh,
It was so off key. Somewhere
no,
my sister
it's
is like,
the
dude,
idea
you
that
can
you
do
are
better.
still singing the song.
Such a good song. He was so good in 1998.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so second fact.
Mm-hmm.
It has been in the works for almost 2 decades.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
See? That's it.
Yeah.
In 2005, the NASA Authorization Act kicked off what we call the Constellation Program.
Okay.
And it had 3 parts: Earth, Moon, Mars.
Okay.
The Earth portion was sustaining the International Space Station, which technically isn't on Earth, but orbits Earth, right? Just in case you were like thinking that I'm stupid and I don't know that the space station is not part of our planet.
Jason.
Yeah. Okay. The moon portion of Constellation was intended to be a permanent launching point for us to be able to land on an asteroid and then eventually Mars.
Oh.
Okay, but in 2010, 2011, the program was canceled because of budget concerns. Okay, now, interestingly enough, the Orion spacecraft was actually developed for the Constellation program.
Oh. So they're just repurposing.
But NASA, don't worry, they have done some updates, so your astronauts are safe. You're not using a 20,000-year-old spacecraft.
Oh, no. Oh.
This was built in 2005. Technology hasn't really changed since then, right? It's fine.
Not even a little bit.
Just blow the dust off. It'll be fine.
Right. As she taps her Apple Watch. Like.
Right. Okay. First fact was the name has a special meaning.
Yes.
Your second fact was that it's been in the works for almost 2 decades. Your third fact is that its goals are very lofty, but also exciting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the ultimate goal of the Artemis program is to build a permanent station on the moon
What?
that we can then use for human travel to Mars.
What?
Okay, so there's a lot of research and development that still needs to happen throughout the program, but Artemis 1 already displayed a lot of success for us. Artemis 1 was unmanned, but it holds the record for the farthest traveling spacecraft designed for humans.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it contained what they called moonikins, which are mannequins going to the moon.
Yes. I am here for a cheesy name. I love it. Moonikins.
Moonikins. And these moonikins wore the same space suits that the Artemis 2 and 3 astronauts will wear. And so they were able to test like what kind of things those astronauts are going to feel or what's going to happen.
Okay. How are they going to test what they're going to feel? Because they're moonikins and they can't feel things.
No, more like conditions in the cabin, things like that.
Oh.
Yeah. not like their feelings.
I was like, are we like
At this
do we
point, the
put pain
Moonican is
sensors on
feeling,
them?
yeah.
Right. Or she's feeling depressed. Can we just get her
Yeah.
like a piece of chocolate or something? She'll be okay in a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Artemis 1 had made the record for farthest traveling made for human spacecraft. Before that was Apollo 13. Because you remember, in order for them to get home safely, they had to slingshot around the dark side of the moon, and they kind of went further out into space and came back in. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Artemis 1 actually traveled into the gravitational pull of the moon.
Okay.
Then back out of it into deep space.
What?
Yeah. So it went beyond the moon's gravitational pull.
That's got to be pretty strong, like engines on that thing to be able to push itself out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next one is a little punny, but it's her story in the making.
Her story. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the Artemis 2 crew includes the first woman in the vicinity of the moon.
Oh my goodness.
Her name is Christina Hammock Koch.
Koch.
Koch. Koch.
Coke. We're going to go Coke.
And she is making her second flight into space on the Artemis 2 mission.
Cool.
She was a flight engineer on the space station in Expedition 59, 60, and 61. And she set a record for the longest single space flight by a woman by being in space for 328 days.
Oh my goodness.
And she was in the first all-female spacewalks.
Cool. This woman
Okay,
is a baddie for sure.
Right. She is a baddie, to call back to another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, NASA has also committed that during the Artemis missions, the ones that land on the moon, a woman and a person of color will walk on the moon.
Yay! Way to go. That's amazing.
Okay, so other people that are making history with Artemis are Victor Glover, who's the first person of color to be on a lunar mission, and Jeremy Hansen, who's the first Canadian.
Yay!
Okay, and this leads me to my fifth Artemis point. It is not just an American program. The Artemis program is led by NASA, but there's three partner agencies: the European Space Agency, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency. We might have a while to go for world peace, but it looks like we might have found moon peace.
Moon piece. Yay. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, also, I'm seeing the abbreviation for the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and JAXA is cool looking. Like,
right?
That looks super cool. I could see that looking amazing on some logos, right?
Yeah.
JAXA. Very cool. Well, that's really all interesting stuff. Thank you so much for teaching me all that, because I had no idea. Like, my knowledge of space travel is from Apollo 13 and watching The Martian on repeat, which is also, if you haven't watched The Martian, it's so good. Have you seen that movie?
I also have watched Marvin the Martian cartoons, so I kind of feel like I have
Okay,
more space knowledge than
no.
the average bear.
Okay, Yogi, that's not what we're talking about here. The Martian with Matt Damon, that movie.
Yes.
It's so good.
What about the one that had Tim Allen, Galaxy Quest?
Oh, I was like, that's Buzz Lightyear. You
Yeah.
are going the wrong way. Right. On a secret mission to uncharted space. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm off to fight the
Toy
evil
Story.
Emperor
It's not
Zurg.
actually about space.
Right. That's about being in someone's car and backyard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the Artemis program is really interesting. We're going to watch it unfold over the next few years. Someone's going to be on the moon pretty soon.
Super cool. So exciting for them and for us as we get to watch and learn about it. I love it.
All right. So congrats to those who've been named to the crew. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know what to say. Just make good choices.
Maybe something like, if we want to learn more, we can put some links to some information about where you can go to read up and get even more space facts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's lots of space facts.
So many space facts.
That could be the name of this episode. So many space facts. NASA has a really cool website. JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is part of NASA, also has a really great website. There's lots of teaching tools on there, not just like campy classroom lessons, but things for people who are just interested in space travel. One of my favorite things in the NASA like catalog is the Voyager spacecrafts.
Oh, okay.
And Voyager was a pair of probes sent out with the intention of leaving the solar system.
Whoa.
And they traveled throughout our solar system and sent back really great pictures. But because the intent was for them to live on outside of our solar system, Carl Sagan put what he called the golden records on each one. And this was an LP kind of style album that had sounds from Earth, music from Earth, greetings
goodness.
in 55 world languages, and images that could be used as a map as to where our solar system was in relation to different pulsars in the galaxy.
Super, super cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there's lots to go learn about then. So you're saying make good choices. I'm going to say go on a secret mission to uncharted space. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.